Hi, my name is Yelena Ristic, and welcome again to my YouTube channel, Prolotherapy in Perspective. I usually do about a video a week, but the past couple of weeks I've been quite busy because I've gotten another job. Not a new one, but another one. So I'm working a few jobs right now, and it's taken me a little time to settle down and get reorganized and start with videos again. So I apologize for being away for almost 3 weeks now. Today's topic is going to be brief because I'm not as settled as I would like to be, but I wanted to make sure that I got something out there. And a question that's been coming up fairly often is nutrition and supplementation around prolotherapy and also connective tissue healing. So I'm going to try to make this as brief and simple as I can. Nutrition and supplementation does help, definitely. So let's talk about it in sections. So the first section I'm going to talk about is inflammation. So of course you don't want overinflammation or too much inflammation, but prolotherapy itself does work on an inflammatory process. So you don't want to impede or impair a certain amount of inflammation in order for your treatment to be successful. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm speaking from my own quite extensive experience and from the knowledge that I've gathered, and also the little experiments I've done with supplementation to answer some questions for myself along the way. So what I will say is make sure that you ask your prolotherapist, whoever he or she is, what they specifically recommend around inflammation. But the rule of thumb is at least 2 weeks prior to your treatment, you should absolutely be off any kind of COX-2 inhibitor or any kind of medication that significantly or severely impedes inflammation or that is an anti-inflammatory, such as ibuprofen. I believe there's also meloxicam. People who might be suffering from rheumatoid arthritis or other inflammatory conditions but are also seeking prolotherapy really should speak to both their doctor and their prolotherapist to see what can be done around the treatment, whether they need to come off or whether they may or can come off the medications entirely, or whether they can be reduced enough for the prolotherapy to be successful. So for medication, anti-inflammatories, 2 weeks before treatment, ideally you should not be on any. Also during treatment and for the 6 to 8 weeks after treatment, while your body is in the inflammatory and healing process, you should avoid anti-inflammatories as much as possible. So again, speak to your doctor, and obviously do not discontinue the use of any prescribed or therapeutic medications or supplements based on my advice. Be absolutely sure that you consult with your doctor before you do so, because it might be dangerous to you, and I don't know, or at least harmful, hurtful, and I wouldn't like anything negative to happen to you, obviously. Now when we're talking about supplementation, there are supplements also that can hinder the inflammatory process. High dose ginger, turmeric, even fish oil. If you're taking extra high doses of fish oil for any reason, perhaps dry eye, I do take fish oil still, but I will reduce the amount that I take a little bit a couple of weeks before treatment, during treatment, and then 6 to 8 weeks after treatment, just to make sure it doesn't interfere. But again, your doctor should be knowledgeable in this. I just want to make you aware that anti-inflammatories are not always just limited to medication. If you're taking strong supplements, maybe even homeopathic medications, make sure you check on how much they reduce inflammation, whether or not they're COX-2 inhibitors, and cross-reference that with your supplement provider and your prolotherapist to be sure that you're not doing anything to negatively affect your treatment, and also hopefully maximize your treatment. So in terms of maximizing your treatment, supplementation that I would say is essential, and I know everyone is on a budget, so I'm going to talk about it for the most cost effective to perhaps going all out if you can afford it. So I would definitely say the first thing that you want to keep in mind, regardless of what the supplement is does it upset your stomach or not? If it's upsetting your stomach, it's most likely interfering with your digestion, which means it's interfering with the absorption of anything that you're putting in your stomach that has to be distributed throughout your body, help your tissue develop, and keep you healthy. So think of your stomach as precious and absolutely critical to healing. So stomach first. Do not upset your stomach whenever possible. And I mean, when I say whenever possible, if one of the supplements I'm recommending is upsetting your stomach, change the brand, change the type, or discontinue it. You're almost better off discontinuing it, because if you're trying, for example, to take collagen to help your healing process, but whatever collagen supplement you're taking is really affecting your stomach, sometimes it can cause a little bit of mild indigestion, that passes. That's probably okay. But anything that's causing you to feel real stomach upset and bloated, and it's one of the supplements that you really should be taking, either change it or discontinue it, because it's not really going to help. So for example, I've tried a few different collagen supplements, and some gave me severe bloating and indigestion, and they were just non-viable. The one that did work for me the best was Bulletproof Collagen, so I can highly recommend that. It worked for me personally, individually. That doesn't necessarily mean it will work for you, but it's very popular. It's very well known. It has a very good reputation. Bulletproof supplements all do. So if you're not sure and you can afford Bulletproof, I would recommend starting there. But there are various other collagen supplements along the line, and I would do your research before you spend the money. Google them online, Google things like indigestion and that supplement, see what other people's experiences are, and try to find something that's the most digestible and affordable for you in terms of a collagen supplement. How much collagen should you be taking? Whatever the recommended dose is with the supplement, you should be taking at least that. But while you're healing, so during the time of therapy, so right when you're getting therapy in the 6 to 8 weeks after, you might want to, if your body can handle it, if your stomach can handle it, do 1.5 times to 2 times the supplementation, because your body is laying down new tissue. So if it has extra material to do that with, that would be helpful. So the supplements that go along together the best would be bone broth, collagen, liver in some form. Could be liverwurst or pate or cooked liver. I can't handle cooked liver, so I opt for liverwurst or pate, vitamin C, and lysine. So those 5. So again, bone broth, collagen supplementation, vitamin C, liver of some kind, and lysine. Lysine helps synergistically with vitamin C. So if you take all of those supplements, they should have a significant impact on your ability to heal. In my case, they did. I did a little experimentation. How would my healing progress when I was taking certain supplements? So I had 2 opportunities to first test out higher doses of vitamin C. When I say higher, I think the recommended daily dosage is about 1,000 milligrams. I was on 3,000 to 5,000 daily. Therapeutically during treatment, then I would cut it down to 2,000 to 3,000. I'm always basically on 2,000, sometimes on 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. But again, during treatment, if you can handle 3,000, go for 3,000. There's one small problem though with vitamin C. I say it's a small problem because it's easily overcome, but if you don't overcome it, it can be a significant problem, which is high stomach acidity, get bloating, indigestion. Again, anything that interferes with your digestion is not a good idea. So I'm going to suggest either ester C, which is mild on your stomach and better absorbable, or liposomal vitamin C. That's extremely expensive, but I found very worth it. If you can't afford it, Don't feel sad that you're going to miss out necessarily. I would just recommend then taking higher doses of ester C. The benefit of the liposomal vitamin C, it's more bioavailable and more absorbable. So you can take a little less of it for the same effect as taking a little more of ester C. That's my advice. Both have worked quite well for me. In terms of other supplementation, such as the liver, that I did another experiment with. So let me talk about the two experiments. One was an accidental experiment. I ran out of money. I regressed in my treatment. I lifted something I shouldn't have, and I pulled a muscle in my back. Due to that, it was a medium-sized tear. I had my doctor take a look at it, but I was quite broke, and I decided to see what would happen if it would heal spontaneously. And that's when I took regularly and very consistently the regular dose of bulletproof protein, collagen protein supplement, as well as a higher dose of vitamin C diligently every single day. I actually did it with blueberries as well because I heard blueberries are good for your hair and they're a good antioxidant. So I thought, okay, I'll just mix it all into a shake. So it was blueberries, vitamin C as a supplement, and the collagen powder. And I had about an 80 to 85% spontaneous healing of a medium-sized tear along a big muscle in the back. So I think that that experiment was quite successful. It worked very well, and I've remained on the collagen and vitamin C definitely, and the blueberries. So that's one experiment. The second was I consistently had not below average, but sort of on the lower side of growth factors. And I was frustrated as to why, because I was taking supplementation, I was eating healthily. I wasn't able to really exercise, which most of us can't if we're getting prolotherapy. But I was walking more than I did with previous prolotherapy sessions. So I was a little frustrated to learn that my platelet count hadn't gone up with a better lifestyle, more exercise, etc. And I asked my doctor, what do you think it could be? In other words, who has the best platelet counts and why do you think that is? And he isolated that they were farmers, chicken farmers, who ate chicken livers every single day. And I thought, okay, I'm not a fan of organ meat. I'm not a fan of chicken liver. So I decided to experiment with pate, duck and chicken liver pate, for 3 months before my next treatment. Again, diligently every single day. I would have about 2 tablespoons worth of pate every single day. And sure enough, when I went back to my doctor and he did my growth factor count, he told me that I had 1/3 more growth factor. So my counts were 1/3 higher, and my healing subsequently was the strongest healing I'd ever had. So I would highly recommend that as well in your diet. And post prolotherapy, again, 6 to 8 weeks, you want to try to keep off of anti-inflammatories if you possibly can. Again, discuss with your doctor if you can't, but keep them at a minimum 6 to 8 weeks after. 1.5 times or double the times of your collagen intake. I'd say a nice big mug, about the size of bone broth, that I did every day. Now, you can make your own bone broth. It's time consuming. There's several recipes online. They're all pretty good. But you could also buy it in your supermarket or a health food store. I've used concentrated bone broth that I put a tablespoon of and add hot water. I've used just bone broth itself in Tetra Paks and glass bottles. I found it's all been very helpful. So go ahead and supplement with that. So that's my advice for supplementation around prolotherapy. I personally believe it helped me an enormous amount to maximize my healing. One other thing that I hate to admit, but I'm going to because I need to be perfectly honest with all of you, smoking is something I did do. I don't anymore. I smoked occasionally. Now I might smoke here and there, but not regularly, not enough to interfere with my treatment. I'm going to recommend 0 cigarettes. That's my official recommendation. But if you absolutely cannot quit, I would say you have 2 really good options or decent options. Keep it down to an absolute minimum 2 weeks before, during, and after treatment. And when I say after treatment, the full 6 to 8 weeks after treatment. Minimize it as much as you can. If you can handle making a deal with yourself where you don't smoke at all for that time frame, but you can smoke afterwards and hopefully, cut down and stop eventually one day, I hope, then do that. I think that does have a positive impact. So I would highly, highly suggest that. And if you're having some trouble with the effectiveness of your treatments and you are smoking, please be aware that it is a significant factor. My doctor was very upset with me, but we made it through. I probably paid more money, and now I don't smoke around therapy, at least at all. So that's all the advice I can think of giving you for today. If I think of anything else, I will add it to the comments. And there's going to be a new addition to the process of communicating with me. With the next video, I'm going to be including an email address. I would ask you to please use that if you want to ask me any questions privately that you don't want to post in the comments below. Again, I'm going to encourage posting in the comments below, because if you have a question, likely somebody else has that same question, so it can get answered for everyone. Everyone can benefit from my answers. Still, if you would like to message me privately, or it's a bit of a long thing that you don't want to type in the comments, please go ahead and use that email address that I will be adding with the next video by this weekend, so that I can keep all the correspondence in one place. I'm getting a lot more people contacting me, and I'm having more trouble keeping track of everyone, making sure I'm getting back to everyone. So having it all in one place would be very helpful. If you have not hit the subscribe button below yet, please do. That way you'll be able to get a new video as soon as it comes out. It'll ping you. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I very sincerely wish you all the best in your healing journey. I'm here to help, and please contact me whenever you can. Thanks again.